Hello, my name is Jamie Packer, and the aquaculture feed that I chose to research today is called Stella. So, about this feed, Stella is produced by Skretting, and it is a feed that is specialized for sturgeon. And the way they came up with this recipe is based on some experiences done in Russia as well as Europe. It says that it covers all necessary amino acids and lipid requirements for sturgeon. It is considered a medium energy diet feed, and how this feed works is it slowly sinks into the water column and is considered to have a long-lasting water durability. The intended market for this feed is most likely personal, marine exhibits, and aquaculture facilities. I came up with this conclusion based on the available sizes of bags. The most common were either 50-pound bags or 2,200-pound bags. And they said they made a special area that you could order online 10-pound bags, which I presume makes it like not a very valuable bag size. And again, this market is most likely intended for Russia and Europe and has been seen in the United States as well, though. I could not find a proper food label. What I could find was at the top here, figure 1, are some possible ingredients in selling. Basically, what they listed here was all of the ingredients that are in any of their feeds. And then I just had to, I guess, go from there, working on this figure 2, which I did find on the Stella web page. It did not go into like great detail. One thing that they did say on this figure 1 was that each feed can contain up to 50 different ingredients, and they talked a lot about fish meal and fish oil being prime ingredients. Fish meal is cooked, pressed, dried, raw fish, kind of ground up into a powder, and then the fish oil is a liquid that's pressed out of the cooked fish. And they stated that this is a sustainable process because both the fish oil and the fish meal are derived from fast-growing small fish stocks, where these fish have little to no demand for human consumption and are perfect for putting into their fish feed. So what I presumed the primary ingredient was, since listed it was 42% protein, I assumed that they used a fish protein. So some information on that is, since sturgeon are omnivores, they need a medium amount of protein compared to carnivores, which need much more, and then herbivores needing less. Protein is arguably the most important ingredient because it's necessary for many life functions and sustaining like life support of your body. In this are essential proteins, which basically are proteins that the body cannot produce themselves, so you need to get it from an outside source. Proteins are fundamental for growth in all aspects of your body. One negative thing that I saw was, depending on where the protein comes from, they can have like certain low essential proteins. For example, in the given paper for this class this week was that plant proteins can have insufficient levels of methionine, which is considered an essential protein. The secondary ingredient for this Stella feed is 18% oil, and I chose to presume that they were talking about fish oils. Fish oils have a high level of omega-3s, which are unsaturated fatty acids, and those get deposited in the muscles, which are the part of the fish that we as humans eat, and is why they are considered such a good food source for us. Oils and lipids they serve as transporters for certain vitamins in fish, transporting vitamins to where they need to go in the body. And they're roughly 2 times higher energy nutrient sources than proteins or carbohydrates. Because of this, some feeds can have higher amounts of these lipids and oils to try and combat prices for proteins, because proteins are the higher price. They cost more than a lipid does. One negative effect that this can have, however, is that the fish can intake too much oil than necessary, and it can deposit on their liver, which decreases the health and the quality of the fish. The study I chose to look into basically replaced fish oil with palm oil. This study was done by Dr. Christian Aisa, Dr. Jinglang Zhao, Dr. Zheng Wu. It was published in 2019, and it was done on the species of Nile tilapia. One difference before talking about this study is that Nile tilapia are herbivores and sturgeon are omnivores, so this study may not be the best in transferring over looking into sturgeon, but I do believe that it's a good start, and the information provided can have some information used when looking into sturgeon and comparing the two. So the methods in this study: 40 juvenile fish were caught in the wild and then placed into a fish tank for 8 weeks. The study lasted. The protein sources included fish meal, rapeseed meal, and soybean meal, and this was throughout each of the different fish groups or study groups. And the lipid sources are what changed throughout each group, and that was either fish oil or palm oil. And how they fed these fish was basically each group there were 5 groups of fish being studied, and each group had a different amount of palm oil, and then fish oil as well, equaling the 100%. So this first group's 0% palm oil, it would have 100% fish oil. The 25% palm oil would have the opposite, 75% fish oil, and then continuing on. And their initial weight calculated for each fish was 9.3 grams plus or minus 0.02 grams. The findings of this study were that the best oil diet was seen to be 50% palm oil, which alternatively would mean that this diet also had 50% fish oil, and the lowest was 25% palm oil, 75% fish oil. And then they said that there was no significant difference in the other groups compared to the low 25% palm oil group. This showed similar results that were done on juvenile Nile tilapia, which was what was done here, juvenile Mozambique tilapia, and common carp when vegetable oil was added in their diet, compared to this study which used palm oil. Possible reasons for the outcome of this is because freshwater fish do not require the same amount of omega-3s. They actually require higher amounts of omega-6s, which are found in vegetable oils, where omega-3s are found in fish oils. And the hypothesis was that once the minimum omega-6 quantities were reached in these fish feeds, the rest of the oils could really be replaced with any type of lipid. And this is my works cited. Thank you.